Hi everyone, welcome to our third session for our Road to Registration campaign this week. Joining us today is Shelley Collette, the Manager of Academic Supports here at Mount Allison. If you haven't joined us in our last sessions, my name is Sarah Chisholm. I'm an admissions counselor here at Mount Allison. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about what academic supports are available for students here at Mount A. I'll pass it over to Shelley quickly to introduce herself.
Hi, yes, I am Shelley Collette and I run academic support. So academic support covers a lot of bases because we've got students in all kinds of different disciplines and at all years of studies. And so we offer some course-specific supports, right? And so these are support programs put in place for courses that are usually intro courses, high enrollment, a lot of students. Sometimes students who are taking these courses because they count towards their major, and sometimes because they're prereqs for other courses that they want to take in their major. So there are a lot of different reasons why students are taking these courses. So we put supports in place for those specific courses. We also have a writing center, which is fantastic. I'm really proud of our writing center. And this is for students across the board. Any course in the sciences, the social sciences, the humanities, all years of study. We've got tutors who are absolutely amazing and very well trained, who can help students with all different kinds of writing. We also offer writing workshops, so you might see me in some of your classes coming in to talk to you about different things. And newly, we're going to be introducing in the Writing Center some online workshops and writing guides and worksheets that students can do from home. And the third big area where my office works is in support for students who are struggling. Most of these students tend to be in the first year or two of their program. They're not quite sure how university works. And so we have a bunch of supports that we can roll out for students to help them get their feet under them and figure out how to, do university. That's basically academic support.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. So before we get into our questions, I just want to take care of some housekeeping items. So again, if you haven't participated in our events this week, I'd just like to turn everyone's attention to the bottom of your screen where there's a Q&A box where we'd like to direct you to ask all of your questions. Throughout the session, feel free to shoot whatever questions you might have about academic support in that box, and we'll be able to answer them as we go. Additionally, we do have some more events coming up this week. So tomorrow we have 3 different sessions for Bachelor of Arts students, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Commerce, starting at 10, 11, and 12, respectively. Registration links are in your emails to sign up for those sessions. And if you have an interest in both, maybe like an arts program or a sciences program as well as commerce, you're more than welcome to sign up for more than one session. So definitely check those out and you'll be able to speak with some current students about the programs that they're in. So without further ado, I guess we'll start with our questions as they keep rolling in. So our first question is, I'm nervous about taking courses that I've never taken in high school, probably something like biochemistry or economics, something like that. What kind of support is there for these kind of classes?
Yeah, a lot of support. So there'll be support in the courses themselves, right? So those large classes like econ and biochem, large by Mount A standards, which is never too large. They have supports built into the course themselves. So you'll have TAs that are helping you with labs and are available to run tutorials. So within the course itself, there'll be support. The university also has historically run really exceptional physics help centers, math help centers, and econ help centers, where students can just drop in at any time with questions about any aspect of their econ, physics, or math courses. So those supports are also available. In addition, for those first year courses, one thing that I put in place is called PASS, and that stands for Peer Assisted study sessions. And what I do is hire an upper year student who has taken the course before, who knows where the challenges are, where students struggle, and help them study as a group for those courses.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. Our next question is, what kind of online course support will be available in the fall? So I think you touched on this a little bit previously, but just if you have any more details.
I am in the midst this summer of trying to integrate all of our programming to be accessible online in the fall. Ideally by September 1st, students will be able to access course-specific supports online. So right now we're piloting PASS online through Moodle. And so the PASS leaders, instead of meeting with the students in person, which they can't do right now, they're meeting with them online in a specific group where they can chat. They've got forums, they've got practice quizzes, they've got exercises, they've got video tutorials set up. And so these PASS leaders are, and they've also sent, these PASS leaders are amazing, and I'm really, really proud of them. They have started reading groups within the course, and so students are paired up, and they're going to be having little contests, and I don't know what prizes they're going to offer, but I feel like they're going to be hilarious and probably very goofy and involve the student leaders possibly dancing on video for the class.
Awesome.
I know,
That's
they're
awesome.
so sweet. They really create a strong bond and a sense of community so that the students can then help each other learn, right? So I want to integrate, I want to integrate that kind of thing online for all of the courses that we support, right? So that students can work together, even if they can't be in the classroom together all the time.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Shelley. That sounds great. So this sort of, I guess, falls under that same category. So are there opportunities for when I'm in second year and higher to volunteer for academic support?
Oh boy, are there ever. So all of my programming and academic support is based on a model of peer mentorship. And so what I do is keep my eye peeled for those first and second year students that show a real interest in working with their classmates, that are engaged with the material and are engaged in the process of learning, and try and recruit them real early and get them involved in some capacity in one of the programs that I have running. So some of the programs are like first gen programs that support first generation students at university. The PASS program, so the Broad Student Leader program, the Writing Center, peer tutoring. All of these things require students that are really deeply engaged with the material and with their fellow students. So absolutely, yeah, hit me up.
That's great. And sort of this also falls under that as well. So one student is saying that they're the first student in their family to attend university, and they're wondering what kind of support there is for that kind of student because their parents or siblings are unsure of what to expect.
Yeah, that's rough. I was the first in my family to go to university too, and I didn't even realize that I was at something of a disadvantage when I went, that I didn't know what to look for. I assumed that everyone was in the same position I was in. I didn't realize how much I had to learn. And so I've put into place a pretty strong first gen student program, and it pivots around a faculty mentor program that we implemented a couple of years ago, where students, first gen students, are paired with faculty who are also the first in their family to go to university for mentoring. And so we try and pair students with faculty members who are also in the same field, so they get a bit of professional support, and then also mentoring and how to navigate this new system, this new organization that they're not familiar with. The university has a whole system of language and norms that we have to learn.
Awesome, thanks. So our next question is, I think it's talking about the past tutorials or sessions. So this person says, I'm afraid one tutorial session won't be enough for me to understand in these courses. Are there like more sessions per week, or do they meet on an irregular basis, that sort of thing?
So when they meet in person, past sessions are held twice a week. Online, the materials are available 24/7, right? So when it's happening on Moodle, which is our course management system. So for almost all of the courses that you will be taking, whether they're in person or online or hybrid, you will find most of your course materials on Moodle. There you'll find the course outline, the syllabus, the reading assignments, assignment guidelines, test dates, all of this stuff is posted on Moodle. And so for the courses that we've attached supports to, and this summer there are 9, and I don't know how many we're going to have in the fall, but it's usually courses that tend to have higher enrollment because those are the courses where students need the most support. So what you'll find is even if there are in-person meetings, there's still going to be a Moodle page where you can access video tutorials, the Quizlets, all of the supports, questions forum where you can ask questions of the past leader or your fellow students, right? All of those resources will be available all the time.
Awesome, thanks. So we have a question that says, as an international student, how would you help us with our schedules and classes that we should take? If you have any tips, I can also add on to that as well, but go ahead.
No, please take it away, Sarah.
Yeah, so we have 3 academic advisors at our students' disposal. So they're a really great resource for incoming and current students to reach out to for help in planning your degree, and even just planning the courses that you should be taking. They're really a great tool that you should definitely take advantage of. So you're able to email them for information at advisor@mta.ca, or you can book an online or virtual advising appointment at mta.ca/advising. If you haven't already reached out to an academic advisor and you're unsure of what courses you should take, because depending on what program you're in, definitely reach out to them and they're more than happy to help. All right, awesome. So our next question, and I can also answer this one too. Do you have information on how many first-year courses will be online and whether the labs or tutorials will be online as well? So as you have all probably heard, the university is currently planning on how courses are going to look in the fall. So the individual courses themselves, the information on how that will be delivered will be communicated to you when it is available. And I believe it will be available after June 1st. So keep an eye out in your emails, on our social media channels for those updates as well. All right, our next question is, I'm nervous that I'll struggle with courses that are online. Do you have any tips or resources?
Yes, I do. I found that because all of our courses this summer are online, and the biggest challenge that students are facing is self-motivation and time management. And I think that those two are tied together really quite tightly. Like we tend to avoid things that are scary or that we're not used to. And so I think that for online courses, making sure that you develop a line of communication with your prof, or if it's a course that has PAS attached to it, get involved with that PAS group so that you've got a community of people that you can talk to about it. And that can help motivate the doing of the actual work. Because one of the hardest things with online courses is that you're doing it a little bit alone, right? So we're physically distant from other people some of the time, but that doesn't mean we have to be entirely distant from other people. So what we're trying to do with our online courses here is really create a community of learning among students, even though we're not physically in the same room. Mm-hmm. We can still learn together.
For sure. And something that I would like to sort of add on to that is that if you aren't already a member of the Incoming Students Facebook group, feel free to join and use that as a resource as well. You can meet students that are in the same classes as you. Even if it's online, you can still collaborate by using Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Facebook chat, that kind of stuff, and you can still find a way to work together. All right, our next question is talking about the Writing Resource Center. So I've never written an essay before. What kind of help can the Writing Resource Center provide, and how often can I use it?
You can use it. In fact, I encourage you to use it every single day. I have seen students progress in ways that they never expected and I never expected through the Writing Center. The Writing Center tutors can help students at any stage of the writing process. So you can come in with absolutely nothing written, with your assignment guidelines, and a writing tutor will walk you through the steps of what you need to do to get to a first draft or an outline of a paper. They will look at those assignment guidelines with you and help you figure out what the prof wants, because sometimes it's hard to tease that out, right? When you're writing your first paper and you're not too sure what the prof wants. Oh, I remember. Can I tell a story? Do we have time for a little story?
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
Anecdote of how Shelley messed up her first paper in her undergrad. So I was in an intro Soc course and I had to write like a 2-page reflection, some kind of report on, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was poverty. And I wrote an anti-capitalist manifesto that was basically, it was a short story about a monster on a mountain. It did not fulfill the assignment guidelines at all. I was trying to impress the professor with how much I knew, because I knew so much about it that I could just move beyond the assignment guidelines. Assignment guidelines are for kids. And I just confused the TA. I failed the assignment. I took it to the prof and she was like, yeah, you can't do that. You have to do the thing I asked you to do. And that was a really good lesson for me. But right, yeah. So, I mean, they still gave me a PhD in the end. So you can recover from that. There's a lesson in this. You can come back from that. Yeah, the writing tutors can help with that. So if you have an assignment that you don't quite understand, you can come to the writing tutors with it. They'll probably also suggest that you talk to the prof about what you don't understand, but they can help you come up with a plan for how you're going to accomplish each step. And you can come at any stage. You can come with a draft, you can come with an outline, you can come with like a third draft that you polished, you can come with an old assignment that has already been graded. And you're like, I want to know what I did wrong and how I can improve.
That's awesome. Thanks, Shelley. And this sort of goes on that as well. So the student's wondering, how can you apply for an essay tutor? Or do you have to apply for a tutor?
No, you don't have to apply. You just show up. This is an entirely free drop-in service. So right now, and we're looking at different ways of offering this for September. So I'm shopping around for different apps really right now, and I'm not sure how it's going to be integrated, but it will be integrated. That we are looking at offering what we're doing now, which is asynchronous online support, where basically the student emails us a Word document and the tutor tracks changes and writes comments and suggestions and feedback in the margins and then sends it back to the student. And there could be that email back and forth. So in that system, we guarantee the student a response within 48 hours. And so it's just continuous. And at that point, the student can chat and ask questions with the writing tutor as much as they want. We're also looking at trying to integrate synchronous online writing support. So something like this, where you can video conference, but where you can also edit shared documents in real time, and also have a shared writable whiteboard we think would be very useful. So we're exploring different ways right now of providing different levels of service for students that need different things.
That's awesome. Thanks, Shelley. All right, so our next question is a little bit shifting gears. So they say that they're taking the SDL calculus course and they're wondering if there is a past section or academic support for this course. There
is. So for calc, you should have been automatically enrolled in the calc course now. So calc is an outlier, and I know that the so the PASS leader who is running the calc page actually is just recovering from the flu right now. So he hasn't been adding much since the first week that we added it, because we're only going into week 3 now. Yeah, so I looked at the PASS page, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he's got a couple of video tutorials up, and I think there are some links to a Quizlet, but he's going to be updating that again. So at the end of every week, each page will have information and support and updates for the various courses that they're attached to. And there is one for PASS, for calc, which you would have been automatically like enrolled in that page. So if you go to Moodle and you look on your dashboard, you should see a calc page. It'll say PASS Calc 1.
Awesome, thanks for that, Shelley. Someone's asking, is there any extra cost for any of the academic support services available?
0. All of these
Perfect.
services that I've been talking about are completely free to all students. There are additional supports. So we also have students that do peer tutoring on their own. So you can hire your own tutor if you want. But everything I've been talking about is totally free. And in fact, you know, we're looking at offering even more free resources for students. So there's a few non-credit courses that are coming down the pipeline. One is already in the works. It's a pre-calc course. So I'm not sure how Dr. Messenger has set that up. I don't know how many weeks she's set up for it, but it is a math prep course so that students are better prepared to take their intro math courses in the fall, and that's free and it's available right now. And we're also looking at offering over the summer writing supports and time management supports for students to help them get ready for September. So keep your eyes peeled for those.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. So this person's asking or saying, I'm worried about university because I went to a public school in New Brunswick and I know other students have done curriculums like IB, AP, etc. Is it still possible for me to succeed in university?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I also went to a public school in New Brunswick, Riverview High, RHS Royals, go Royals. Yeah, and I think, I can't remember, it's funny, I was in a meeting just yesterday where we were talking about the number of students that we have from New Brunswick, but it's pretty high, the number of students that we have that are local. You will be in very good company among students who have not done IB programs and have gone to public schools. And having worked with students having worked with students at university and having taught university for, don't do the math and try and add up my age, but over 15 years now, by the end of the first semester, I don't see much difference. The students who have gone to public school, and even in rural communities where there aren't necessarily a lot of other amenities, they figure it out. And students who get into Mount A can do the Mount A work. This is something that I repeat every year. If you have gotten accepted to Mount A, you can do this, right? The admissions team does not accept students that they don't think can do the work.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. Speaking a little bit from experience as well, I also didn't do IB. I think I turned out just fine. So as long as you put your head down, do your work, you'll be totally fine, for sure. All right, our next question. Where are you able to apply for the preparatory math course for university? So I can take this. I think I know, I have the details for that. So we'll add it in, we'll answer the question and type out the answer for you. But there is a link, an enrollment key that you would use to apply, or sorry, to sign up for the course. And then you just go from there, but I'll write in the link for you guys in there in just a moment. Our next question says, where do you find out about time management and writing support? So where can students find this support on campus?
So we're updating the website over the summer to include support that you can access on your own at any time. It's not widely available right now, but it will be updated, and the entire website is being updated over the summer. But it will be available to you by the time classes start in September. For now, writing support can be found through the academic support webpage. So if you go to academic support on the Mount A website and look for Writing Center, there you'll find information on how to get writing support at Mount A.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. Our next question says, should we be able to access Moodle now as admitted students, or is the account activated later or upon acceptance of admission? So I can take this one. You should be able to log into Moodle now. However, if you're not enrolled in any classes for the spring-summer term, you probably won't see anything up there. When you are registered for your courses for the fall and winter semesters, you'll see the courses are listed, and then you'll be able to click in at the beginning of the term and see the different things that the professors are signing or uploading there. All right. So our next question, just 1 second here, talking about organizational preparedness again. So this person says, I'm nervous about organizational preparedness for university. Are there any programs or tips for academic preparedness?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things that students can do to really start off on the right foot. The biggest thing I would say is stay on top of your readings and do your readings before the lecture. I have seen students' engagement with the class take a 180-degree turn for the better, simply by doing the readings before going into class or before going to the lecture, or in the case of an online course, before watching the video lecture. If you do the readings before class, you've got a bit of a roadmap for where the prof is going to go, and you can then just sit and enjoy the lecture. You won't get thrown off by anecdotes or supplementary material that the prof is explaining, using to explain the core concepts. You'll already have an idea of what those core concepts are. And so you're better able to engage in a dialogue with the prof, in a conversation with the prof about what they're talking about. So yeah, doing the readings on time, and if you can, before class, is definitely the single biggest time management trick that I can think of.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. Our next question, is there any support for those of us who have never used Moodle for courses before?
Yes. So we have, and I don't know what his title is. He's an IT support. Keegan is the guy. So you're talking about Keegan. So up at the top of your Moodle page, you'll see if you have any questions or are wondering how to use this, contact Keegan. And if you contact Keegan, he knows exactly what you need to do. You can also ask your prof, right? And yeah, and there will be other students with the same questions that you have, right? Because navigating a new app or a new system is always a bit touch and go until you get a sense of where everything is and how it works. And so everyone is in the same boat of figuring out what this platform is like.
For sure. Thanks, Shelley. So just quickly, going back to the pre-calculus course that is available for students now, if you look in your Q&A box under answered, you'll see the details to sign up for that course there. And a reminder, if you still have questions, please keep them coming and we'll keep answering them. We are coming up with a couple questions here. So our next question is there a way to connect with current peer support students? So can students connect now, or would they have to wait until they're enrolled in their courses?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. I'd been planning entirely for September, but I really like the idea of building a community of learners coming into it. not right now, but you have sparked something in me. And yeah, that might be something interesting to think about planning, about setting up these virtual connections between students and peer support in advance of the course. That could be fun.
Yeah.
How many
Awesome.
people would be interested in that? How many, those of you who are on here, is there any way for them to like shout out their
I think
interest?
they can. Oh, we have people raising their hands. 2 people have raised their hands.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh, 12. Yep, numbers are going up.
Okay.
So I think
All
there's
right.
definitely some interest there.
I will
That's
give some.
awesome.
By the way, this is a benefit of going to a small school. You can jump on a platform like this and say, hey, is this service available? And if it's not, I can be like, you know what? Not yet, but let's explore it and see what we can do.
That's too true. That's awesome. All right, so our next question is, what are 5 things that I should be doing this summer to prepare for university?
5. I have to come up with 5 things you should be doing to prepare for coming to university. I would say getting outdoors and having fun and coming into university refreshed and ready to do the work. I think that when you get here, we have supports and systems in place to help students integrate into university. Mount A in particular is really good at this. I've watched the orientation team do their work for years. The admissions team is so good at welcoming students. The different faculties have information sessions. And so I think that what you can do over the summer to prepare is really just look forward to it, right? Look forward to it. You're already prepared, really. You got accepted. You've done the work already to get in. And then once you get here, we'll help you integrate. I mean, you can also do some reading if you want. I mean, sure.
Yeah, definitely. I sort of want to echo that too. It's just thinking back to when before I started university, it was a lot of nerves, but something like, I don't think there was really anything in particular that I did except for, you're right, look forward to it, be excited and like have fun. And then when you get to Mount A and you do your orientation week activities, you'll get to learn so many things and like meet new people. It's a really good way to sort of prepare you for those first few days at Mount A.
I remember before going to, this was for my master's degree, but I emailed a prof who wasn't even my advisor, but I just really wanted to work with her. And I thought it would be so impressive if I emailed her and asked her to set me up with the summer reading list. And I never heard back. And of course, now I realize like I was asking her to basically teach me a course for free. But I think it's really, I think it's an exciting time, and I understand that desire to really just sort of jump into it right now. Like I want to do it right now already. But yeah, just keep up the anticipation.
For sure, definitely. So our next question is, I can also tackle this one, but do you have to pay for the pre-calculus course? No, you do not have to pay for it. It is there for you to come to Mount A and be prepared for the calculus course. So definitely feel free to take that upon yourself to take that course if you're interested. And yeah, our next question, do you have some tips for note-taking during a fast-paced lecture?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is something that students, it's not an uncommon challenge for incoming students, especially coming from high school where the teacher will often tell you what you need to take down, right? So make sure you make a note of this, it'll be on the test, and at university your prof doesn't always say that. Do the readings before class. Then you'll know what you need to write down and what you don't. If the prof posts slides, a lot of profs, especially in the sciences, will use slides with their lectures. If they post them in advance of the lecture, print them off. take them with you to lecture and you can write notes on them. So you don't have to spend your time writing down information that is already on the slide because you already have it printed off. Develop a shorthand that makes sense to you, right? You don't need to write down every single word the prof says. And you can develop a shorthand, abbreviations, symbols. I would also suggest, if possible, if it's possible for you, some people really have a hard time writing by hand, but if you can, absolutely take handwritten notes. It's really easy to draw arrows and move around. And I'm trying to think of other tips for fast-paced lectures. You can also ask the prof if you can record the lecture, right? So, but I find that often if you record the lecture, then you're in the same position you were in the actual lecture hall itself, of trying to take down every single word the prof says. And that's not going to be a very helpful study aid, right? Because when you go to study, you're going to need something that's concise, something you can remember, because you can't remember, you can't memorize an entire lecture.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for those tips, Shelley. That's awesome. So this student is asking, how do I, if I'm stuck in my home country because travel to Canada is not allowed, how do I do the courses that have lab components such as biology, chemistry, etc.? I can tackle this one again. What we'd recommend that you do is reach out to an academic advisor, as they can help you plan your degree and when you can take those courses. There will be some courses that have online lab components. So if you're not on campus, you could still be taking those courses. But again, your best bet would be to reach out to the academic advisors. So you can reach them by email at advisor@mta.ca, or you can book a virtual advising appointment at mta.ca/advising. All right, so our next question, just scrolling through here. Will all support programs be available in the fall? Can I still have a one-on-one session if I'm on campus?
Yes, although it depends what for. So if we are able to offer one-on-one peer tutoring, we will. If we can't, they will be held online. The same goes for the writing center. Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Sorry, Zara and I were talking earlier about how we both have dogs here and they may bark, and I think mine just heard yours, so we may have a chorus.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, so yeah, when possible and when it's safe to do so, yes, we absolutely will have one-on-one sessions.
Awesome, thanks, Shelley. So I'm getting a lot of questions here about orientation and those activities. So those details are currently being worked on through the university. We're not sure of how orientation will look like at this moment, but again, when those details are available, they will be communicated to you with social distancing information, that kind of stuff as well. So stay tuned for those communication pieces from us. All right, so it looks like we might be coming to the end of our questions. So if you have any last minute questions that you're wondering, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A box, but we'll go with our last question here. And I think I'll be able to tackle this one too. So will some of these online courses and labs be offered multiple times per day? What advice do you have for some of us who may be studying remotely from other countries or time zones? So I think I can tackle the first part, Shelley, if you want to tackle the second part. So again, the details for courses and how they're going to be delivered are being currently worked out right now by the university, and they will be communicated to you when they are available. So keep an eye out for that information. And Shelley, if you want to talk about some tips for studying remotely from different countries or time zones.
Yeah, I would suggest that if you're in a different time zone, that you might want to talk to an academic advisor about choosing courses that will offer asynchronous possibilities. So some of the online courses might be synchronous, right? Which means that everyone gathers together at the same time. And if that is 3 a.m. in the morning for you, that might not be feasible. But that's something that you will know in advance, and you can choose courses that fit that timetable. And of course, I know that the university is going to be offering a broad range of courses this year to suit all of these different student needs. right? So we realize that students are all over the place with how much they can attend, whether or not they can come to campus, and we want to make sure that all students are covered and that we're working very hard to make sure that students are able to take the courses they need and progress to graduation. So it's something that we're being very conscious of, but I would suggest absolutely talking to an academic advisor about course selection.
For sure, and I'll echo that as well. They're a very good resource to, again, take advantage of. Feel free to reach out to them, and they're more than happy to help you guys. So we do have a few extra questions that came in. So first question, is there a big difference between Ontario and New Brunswick education? I'm coming from Ontario and I don't know what to expect.
Do you mean public high school? I'm assuming public high school education.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't see much difference between Ontario and New Brunswick. Most first-year courses are designed to bring students up to on the same page. So within the first month or so of a university course, first month or two of an intro course, the expectation is that students may come in at different levels of learning, but by midterm, they'll all be on the same page. Mm-hmm. And that's why we put those supports in place. So the courses are designed specifically with that in mind, so that students can complete the course together, and then they're prepared. Most first-year courses are prereqs, they're prerequisites for upper year courses, second, third, and fourth year courses. And so they're absolutely designed to make sure that students have that foundational knowledge that they need to go on. That is their purpose. Yeah.
That's a great point, Shelly.
You'll be great. You'll be fine.
Awesome, thank you. So our next question here, so Jacoby is wondering, how can I see the recorded webinar? So just so everyone is aware, all of our sessions are recorded. They will be posted on our YouTube channel in the coming days. So we haven't posted them yet, but they will be available for you to watch after this week probably. And you can feel free to watch this session, the sessions this week, the sessions that will take place tomorrow, and the sessions for our virtual receptions the last couple weeks as well. You'll be able to view those later on. I'm just looking here. So this student's wondering, how can I find the Facebook group for new incoming students? So the Facebook group is called Mount Allison Incoming Students 2020-2021. If you look on the Mount A community, you'll have to join that first. You should have received an email with instructions on how to join that group. But if you're still unsure how to join it, please feel free to email us at admissions@mta.ca, and we'll be more than happy to help you out so you can get in that group. Our last question / comment, Lindsay just wants to say that she thinks that Shelly is awesome. She seems so passionate. So there's a little kudos for you, Shelly.
Thanks, Lindsay. You're my favorite.
And it looks like that's the end of our questions. If there's anything that you were wondering that you might think of after this session, you can always reach out to us again at admissions@mta.ca. We're more than happy to help you out and answer your questions, or if you need some guidance or anything. That's what we're there for, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Just a reminder that we do have our sessions tomorrow for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Commerce, and the registration links are in the original email, and I think there was a reminder email sent out this morning where you can find the links to register there as well. I'd just like to say thank you so much to Shelly for joining us today and giving us so much helpful information, and hopefully we were able to ease some of our first year students' concerns. So thank you, Shelly. Yeah, so again, these sessions will be recorded. So if you joined late and you think you might have missed something, you'll be able to rewatch the sessions at a later date. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.